Hey guys, I'm Ubiru and welcome back to World of Warships. Today we have a replay sent in by Greg Rientes, or Desert Rat 0507, of his USS Faragut Tier 6 destroyer. Now Desert Rat isn't a destroyer driver per se, and is more of a cruiser captain. With the Wargaming daily missions though, he quite often receives the sniper mission, which requires you to land several torpedo hits on enemy ships, and the most efficient way of doing this is to play a destroyer. It's very easy to go wrong in a destroyer though, getting too close to battleships or cruisers, not utilising your high concealment rating, or simply charging recklessly. Destroyers are probably one of the hardest ship types in the game to master. And in this replay, Desert Rat shows us how it's meant to be done. So Desert Rat is on Fault Line Domination mode. This is the replay system, so you might see some bugs. It's not actually showing the caps up as A, B and C, and it's not showing the counter, but this is domination mode, it's just a bit buggy. So Desert Rat is going for the cap initially to try and cap C with a couple of allies. Most of the other allies have gone to the A or the midpoint. So Desert Rat has 3 destroyers on his team, 5 cruisers, 3 battleships and 1 carrier. The enemy team has the advantage in terms of battleships. They have 5 battleships, 5 cruisers and 2 destroyers. So in that respect, Desert Rat's team is at a disadvantage. Now Desert Rat has spotted a New Orleans, but he has popped smoke, so the New Orleans can't see him at this point. He's 7.5 kilometers away. At this point, Desert Rat's probably thinking of going between those 2 rocks on the right. To play it safe, at this distance you can't fire torpedoes. The maximum distance of Faragut torpedoes is only 4.5 kilometers with the upgrade, 5.5 kilometers with the standard setup, but they do substantially less damage. Now I haven't played the Faragut yet, I've only got to tier 5 in the destroyer tier line. I'll probably save that for open beta. My opinion, there's not a lot of differences really between destroyers. With cruisers, however, there's quite a lot of differences in armor, in health, in firepower, and etc. So the enemy Pensacola is only 6.2 kilometers away, just in front of Desert Rat. He has the advantage in terms of firepower. He has those big 203mm guns that if he fires high explosive, he will wreck Desert Rat very, very quickly. But if he's using armor piercing, the shells will go straight through the Faragut and do very little damage. So now he's only 5.5 kilometers away, so at this point the Pensacola can definitely see Desert Rat. There's the New Orleans on his left, and at this point I'm thinking, what is the Pensacola doing? He can definitely see the Faragut. He has all those guns, he has 4 turrets consisting of 10 guns, and he still doesn't want to fire on Desert Rat. But the New Orleans does. He fires 1 salvo, but it does miss. The very high maneuverability of the Faragut dodges those shells very, very quickly. So I'm not really sure what the Pensacola is doing. He's only 6 kilometers away, but the Nagato is now on the right at just less than 8 kilometers. And the Nagato has his guns pointing elsewhere, and this gives a destroyer with short-range torpedoes a big, big advantage. Of course, the Faragut has the very high rate of fire guns, and the very fast, high-damaging, low-distance torpedoes. So he's only within 7 kilometers now, and the maximum distance of these torpedoes is only 4.5 kilometers. So he's trying to be really sneaky. The Pensacola is now on the left, behind the rocks, and now the concealment of the Faragut is maintained. So now at this point, Desert Rat should be invisible. The Nagato has lots and lots of torpedoes heading his way, 2 spreads of 4, in they go. Oof, and he only has a third of his health left. Desert Rat was considering to fire some shells, but then he saw the Pensacola on his left. The Pensacola is only 4 kilometers away, so he is within torpedo distance. Now he has to get these accurately on the target. 2.5 kilometers away. Trying to get a good angle with these torpedoes. It's good to wait for the target to go side on before you fire the torpedoes. There he is, side on, firing 1 spread of torpedoes, and of course there's 4 torpedoes per spread. Shots are going in, firing a second spread just in case they miss. In they go, and they finish him off for 31,000 damage. The average damage of these torpedoes is around 15,000 damage, and he hit him 3 times there to confirm the kill. Now that he's emerged behind the rock and he's finished off the Pensacola, there's an enemy New Mexico and a Faragut behind him. Desert Rat saw the threat coming, he's going to the cap, he popped his smoke, and now he's hidden in concealment. The Faragut is going to fire a couple of shots blind, he doesn't know where he is, to try and get a shot, but of course they missed. So at the moment, Desert Rat is safe. So the enemy New Mexico and the Faragut are about to be surrounded by allied ships. In terms of the game, it's actually a draw at the moment, 2 ships apiece, including Desert Rat's Pensacola kill. So at this point, Desert Rat is just trying to keep away from the battle. If he overexposes at this point, he will be killed. The health, armor, and survivability of destroyers is generally terrible, so if you get too close to battleships, the cruisers, or even enemy destroyers, you can die very, very quickly. So he popped the smoke and now he's hiding as best he can. He's now out of range of these guys and now he's going towards the rock to see if he can kill the Faragut or the enemy New Mexico. So the Allied Amagi is very close to the Faragut at this point, only about 2 kilometers away. And of course the Faragut has those 4.5 kilometer maximum distance torpedoes. The Amagi is in a bit of trouble. So the secondary armament of the Amagi is trying to put some holes into the Faragut before he can deploy his torpedoes. The New Mexico is about to appear behind that rock as well, but here comes Desert Rat. Desert Rat's coming straight through the middle, see if he can do a couple of spreads and maybe finish off the New Mexico, or assist with killing the Faragut. The Faragut has deployed 2 spreads of torpedoes. The Faragut was destroyed, but here come the torpedoes. They're going straight for the Amagi. In they go. He got hit by 1 from the first spread and a second from the second spread. So all things considered, the Amagi got off quite lightly. He could have very easily taken a substantial amount of damage there. So the New Mexico is only 6 kilometers away from Desert Rat at this point. He's playing very cautiously, but he's going in behind him while he has his guns facing elsewhere, and he knows very well that the New Mexico has very slow turning guns. He's got to turn side on to him, hopefully do a couple of spreads and finish him off for the team. The Amagi on the left is luring in the fire, but here comes the secondary armament. So the secondary armament is attacking Desert Rat, only a little bit though. Torpedoes going in, 1 spread to see how they go. The enemy battleship can very easily turn to avoid the torpedoes, so he's using them very sparingly, which in my opinion is a very clever way to play destroyers with very high reloading torpedoes. So the torpedoes are coming in and he's turning towards the torpedoes for some reason. I'm not sure why. At this distance you would expect the New Mexico to start turning to avoid the torpedoes. And there he goes, he's starting to turn, but it probably is a bit late. He has no speed, he probably has his engine knocked out, torpedoes are going in, 18,000 health left. First one, second one, and finished him off at 19,000 damage. 3 torpedoes in total, caused flooding, and he finished him off. So Desert Rat played very smart there. He allowed the Allied battleship to lure in the fire, and then he went for the attack. So at this point in the match, it's still very even, 6 kills per team. There's a Megami capping the base in the middle, so now he's going to try and defend B and hopefully kill off that Megami. The Megami hasn't got an awful lot of health left. There's an enemy cruiser to his left as well, but the Megami is the primary threat here. Usually in this situation, I wouldn't recommend going straight for the Megami in a destroyer with such low health and armor, but Desert Rat has his smoke ready in about 3 seconds, and smoke is one of the best things to use in a short-range torpedo destroyer. So he's firing a couple of shots at the Megami. He only has 8,000 health left at 7 kilometers, so he's getting very close to torpedo range. So now he's popped smoke, he's now hidden from the Megami. He's doing a couple of spreads, lining up, getting ready to shoot the Megami side on when he passes. The Megami did take a hit, so he did reset the cap. The Megami did fire a blind there, hoping to get a shot, but he did miss. So now he's within range of torpedoes. So now we can either do a wide spread or a narrow spread. It's entirely up to him. He's doing 1 narrow spread. In they go, 3 kilometers away. He has very low health, but he hasn't been spotted. Now he has. Secondary armament is now firing at him. 2 kilometers away, torpedoes have to finish him off. He's using the second lot to his discretion. He fired his torpedoes. They missed. And he finished them off with the last torpedo for 7,600 damage, induced flooding, defended the base, and finished him off. So very well played by Desert Rat there. Very good use of smoke to get in close to finish him off. He didn't spot you until the last moment, and by that time he already had torpedoes hitting him, so well played. So at this point in the game, Desert Rat's team is winning by a very large margin. They have 6 ships up versus the enemy's 4, and of course it's domination mode, and domination modes count cap points, and when you kill ships you get cap points as well. Of course, this being the very early stages of the replay system, we can't see the cap tally, but we can assume by how many ships remain on each team which team is winning. So not bad for a cruiser player. So in this match, captured 1 base, 7 torpedo hits, 3 destroyed, 5 floodings, 3 targets hit with shells, and he defended the base 4 times, and he got the devastating strike achievement. So well played, Desert Rat. Usually with the American destroyers you would fire over and over again with your guns, but in this game Desert Rat played it very sneaky, popped his smoke, and killed enemies effectively within concealment. So despite not firing many guns in this game, Desert Rat did a fantastic job with just torpedoes alone. So in this game, Desert Rat got 1,964 experience, 265,000 credits, and around 60,000 damage. The destroyers are a lot of fun to play in my opinion, probably the American more so than the Japanese, mostly because of their better firepower. If you're a persistent cruiser or battleship player, and you don't often play destroyers, then I recommend you do so. They are a lot of fun when you get it right. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.